Expect the best used car deals guaranteed. Visit arnoldclark.com.
Welcome to Peter and Roughie's Football Show, sponsored by Arnold Clark. It is Tuesday, March 10th, 2020. I'm Peter Martin. Thank you very much for joining us on the programme. Alan Rough, Hugh MacDonald and Darren Jackson are with me here. There's lots to talk about. A crucial game at the bottom of the Premiership and looming ever closer, a Europa League game for Rangers. So, lots to talk about. Billy Gilmour is the red hot topic. He's been drafted into the under-21 squad, but many are hoping that Billy Gilmour will be somehow extracted from there into the main squad for those crucial playoffs. But let's have a look at the squad overall that was named by Scott Gemmell. And as you can see in there, Hugh, I think a lot of people were hoping that Billy Gilmour would be in the main squad.
I hope so too. I think he's good enough to immediately go into that. I think we should use our players when they're 18. I don't think it's the old cliche, if you're good enough, you're old enough. I've talked to a lot of people about him, and they maintain that it won't affect him in any way. And of course, we've got somebody here on the show that's coached him. So,
I wouldn't go that far.
Isn't it, Roughie?
I wouldn't go that far.
Well, you've been about him.
You're well placed to actually give us a real insight, Darren, into what type of boy he is.
He's a great boy, Peter. I look at him and kind of Andy Robertson, and it's no rocket science. Their desire every day in training. You don't actually make yourself better on a Saturday. You make yourself better Monday to Friday. And the training sessions that I've been with him, he does everything to the best of his ability, and it was just an absolute joy. And I've no doubt he'll not get carried away. Now, do I think he should be in the squad, the full squad? Yes, I do. But I can understand why he's in the 21s. See, if he's a centre half, a right back, or even a striker just now, he's in the squad. It's just the midfield we've got. McTominay, if McGinn's fit, and McGregor are going to play. And then there's McLean, there's Fleck, there's Armstrong. But they're Billy's time, and he could go in and play. He thrives on the big occasion. I think the bigger occasion, the more he enjoys it, and that's how the two performances against Liverpool and Manchester United was just sensational, and that is just him.
Well, the one thing I would say is I'm not going to criticise Steve Clarke on this, because as Scotland manager I have every confidence in him. I think he's a well-balanced manager, shrewd, certainly intelligent enough to look and assess youngsters and whether they can come in and make a real impact. If you're good enough, then you're old enough, is what many a footballer has said and a manager has said in the past, Hugh. The question I'm going to ask you is Steve Clarke making a rod for his own back with this decision?
No, I think he's confident enough. I mean, Steve Clarke is one of these guys that is confident enough in his own ability, and I would say rightly so, that he's not going to be swayed by press, or he would never be that. I think he'll look at it. He went down and watched him in the match against Liverpool, I think it was. So you'd have seen how good he was. He will have heard everything percolating through that building. I mean, I did my piece in Billy Gilmour in November, and even then, that buzz about him. If you talk to coaches through Scotland, they know what this kid is about. So, I mean, Steve Clarke will be well aware of the guy's abilities and the potential and his character. I think he will come into the squad.
Yeah.
Did you see the games he played in? Did you see any of the games that he played in?
Yeah.
Now, Billy is actually 18, and he's telling older players where to pass the ball. I mean, the ball's getting played. He's getting played into centre halves, and he's telling them that the space is over there. Honestly, Peter, his knowledge and his game awareness and all that is just.
There was one moment as well where his fullback and his team played him what we would call the hospital pass, just to bail himself out. And it was a sign of a player giving a guy the ball because he knows he could deal with it. You know, it was the confidence that, you know, his teammates were showing him, giving the ball to him in really tight areas. And the way he just swivels and moves, that great 360 vision. He's ready, Peter. To me, we talk about don't go overboard with young players. This kid played against the European champions and was man of the match. He's ready for Israel.
Okay, it doesn't get any more emphatic than that. Are Rangers ready for Bayer Leverkusen on Thursday? Can they suddenly, from mediocre performances domestically to Europe, once again produce a special night for the Rangers fans at Ibrox, Roughie?
Yeah, well, this is one of the occasions when they have upped their game. They've upped their game against Celtic. They've upped their games in all the European competitions. You'd have to put your finger on why, you know, because we know the form that they're in. It's poor in the league. So it might be the home advantage, the crowd behind them, players sort of taking the pressure away for the league onto the European games. But they've certainly done it. But I think they could be up against it this side because, I mean, we all spoke about Braga, how good they were, but I don't know if you noticed that night, every Portuguese team get toughed out of that competition that night, so maybe Portuguese football wasn't as great as what we thought it was, but certainly the German league is super.
Yeah, I'm not going to go back over it because on the basis that, quite simply, we bigged them up. Braga,
Yep.
You know, because they'd taken some good scalps in the Portuguese league and they'd obviously had some impressive results in Europe, so I think 100% credit to Rangers.
Absolutely.
I'm certainly not going to go after the fact and say, oh, they weren't as good as everybody made out. We made them out to be, you know, big wigs, and Rangers took them out. So great credit to Rangers for that. This is the level above again. You've now got a situation, you know, Jack wants to try and get fit for it. Tavernier's wearing a protective boot in a race against time.
Yeah, I think this is a problem, and we said this early on in the few shows, that the squad's a problem. They're getting injuries now to main players. And I think the ones that have stepped up to the mark, really, in Europe, most of them have stepped up. But in the league just now, it's only Barisic, Arfield and McGregor for me.
Yep.
But in Europe, and they definitely need Jack. They definitely need Tavernier in the team for this game. Because they've performed and they've produced in Europe and they performed in the Old Firm game. So they want to be big game players, and they need the big game players in the team.
Is there any dilemma over Morelos, Hugh? And the reason I ask you is, before the winter break, 35 games, 26 starts, 28 goals, 7 assists. After the winter break, 10 games, 9 starts, 1 goal, no assists.
There's no dilemma over him because of lack of options. If he doesn't play Morelos on Thursday night, who does he play up front? You know, it's
Canberry.
Exactly.
Defoe's out of it. Yeah.
So no, I don't think there's a dilemma at all. He plays.
I think the problem is not like Lee Griffiths. He's not got an Edward to play up front with him. You know, we're all expecting him to score all the time because of all the goals he scored up until December. He's dried up now, but if he had another striker up there with the quality of Edward, I'm sure it would take the pressure off him.
It would definitely take the pressure off him, but I think he's regressed really badly from Christmas.
This week, Hugh, I would suggest to you that he owes the Rangers fans a fantastic performance against the Germans, and he certainly owes them a goal against Celtic on Sunday.
He does, and it's not impossible. It's not impossible because we've talked about the Braga situation. We talked about Braga being, probably too tough for Rangers. We watched the first half at Ibrox, and I think anybody who watches the first half at Ibrox says, yeah, well, we're right, Braga are too good for Rangers. Next 2 hours of football, Rangers kill them. So it's not impossible that things can turn around very quickly for Morelos, but they really have to. This is a very, very big week for him. It's a very big week for him in terms of his future as well, because he wants to leave Ibrox. So he has to impress people so that he can leave Ibrox.
Yeah.
I'm not sure he can play in a 2. I think he's just focused on his own game. Like you see, Edward and Griffiths, they've got an understanding between each other. And And I think he just worries about his old game. He wants to fight people and just go where he wants to go. And I'm not sure if he can play in or two.
Well, interesting. Just before we leave this one then, Roughie, how do you think this one's going to go? Are you thinking Rangers can produce another special night?
I think they'll produce something. I don't think they'll produce enough to win the game, but I can see them getting a draw at it. I think a lot of these European sides know exactly what they want when they come away from home. They'll necessarily think they don't need to win the game, but if they go away with a draw, they'll be happy.
Is that your prediction?
One each.
One each, okay. Are you going to regret having an opinion at this
No,
point?
I'm quite happy with one each.
Okay then.
Can I throw Morales in maybe? Or Morales, whatever his name is.
Throw his cousin in, Morales.
Yeah.
Morelos is
there you are, there's another one. I think he'll score.
Morelos to score?
Yeah.
Well, there you are.
Very good. I think Leverkusen will win. Yeah, I just think, as I said in the Facebook earlier, Leverkusen are 4th in the German Bundesliga, and there's a little gap to the rest, and the 3 teams above them, 1 thrashed Chelsea, 1 beat Tottenham Hotspur at White Hart Lane, and the other 1 beat Paris Saint-Germain. So that's the quality that they're in at the moment.
And you watch German football, Hugh, so I think Leverkusen will beat Rangers home and away.
I think so.
But the reasons why is because apart from the atmosphere, which everybody's been talking about, I don't think that matters when you've got a higher calibre of player. They know what to do.
No, one of the funniest things I ever heard in my life was the usual question to players, Dan, when they come into press conferences, in Scotland, Scottish press asked them, how will you handle the pressure? And I always remember it was asked of Paolo Maldini at Celtic Park, and Paolo just looked, what? Pressure, these guys are top, they'll revel in this.
Do you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of an interview I saw a good few years ago now of Rio Ferdinand, and he said he was out at Celtic Park and they were lining up Manchester United players. He said, and behind me, the emblem of the Champions League started to wave, he said, and then he said the music kicked in. He says, so the hairs are going then. He said, and then this place just went mental. And he looked round at his teammates and he went, I'll have a bit of this.
Aye.
And that is what top players do.
That's what I'm
and then
saying.
they get cuffed, but never mind.
That's what I'm saying. Big game players, Peter, they thrive. We're talking about wee Billy there. Big game players thrive on it at the big clubs. That's what they're in the game for, and that's why they're at the big clubs, because they can handle the pressure. But again, you'll see if they've maybe not played up somewhere like Ibrox, and they'll try and silence the crowd. The crowd, I said, against Braga, need to play a big part. They need to get behind the players, but I just think it could be too much. If they're carrying a lot of injuries, I just think it could be too much on the night.
Prediction?
2-1 for Leverkusen.
Okay, we're going to talk about Lee Griffiths. Darren, again, inextricably linked to him as well, because you used to be his agent too. Is he getting back to his best? Robert Snodgrass says that he was working with a fitness specialist down south. You know better. I
think he had a few sessions with him, yes. I don't know why he's at Lennoxtown, and they should be doing it there. But sometimes boys like doing a little bit extra, which isn't a problem.
I think the entire Celtic team were doing a little bit extra with fitness specialists when Ronnie Dyler was the manager. I think they were going away elsewhere with you to get fit.
But I still think there's more to come. I don't think he's back to 100. He's total fitness, but it just shows you how special a goal scorer he is. Everybody had written him off. I think we'd spoken about it in here. Will he be back? When they signed Klamala, is that finished? I was hoping that he wasn't, and it's been proven that he's not finished.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got that bit back again. And yes, I think maybe the help with Edouard playing up front with him has helped him in this time where before he just liked playing up front himself. Again, he liked just to make his own runs rather than worrying about where the other striker is. But now he is getting a bit of help from a top striker.
Yeah, would you play him up front in the 2 on Sunday?
100% I would, yes. I think when you look at Rangers centre halves just now that are struggling, they're chopping and changing which one's the best. I would go and put the two up against them.
OK, big game tomorrow for Hearts. They're off to St Mirren, and this one at the bottom of the table is absolutely massive. And Daniel Stendhal's taken another little twist on this one, which is something I don't think we can discount in Scottish football. We could certainly impact in Europe. Games are being played behind closed doors. Sometimes there's a total shutdown in certain countries across Europe with regards to sporting events, Hugh, MacDonald. And suddenly Daniel Stendhal's worrying if they suddenly were to cancel the season because of the coronavirus, it would be a huge financial gamble for the SPFL to suddenly drop Hearts into the Championship.
Yep, and that could happen. My understanding that if the season does stop, it won't be declared void. It will be declared. That's my understanding. It will declare the positions that the teams are in. You can see Roughie's is about to collapse as well. The other thing as well is that Hearts are down at the bottom of the league because of their own efforts or lack of therein. So they have to get moving quickly. I think if Hearts lose at St Mirren, which is a possibility, that's it. It's because, see that phrase, they're running out of games. They might be running out of games in two ways. Do you know that way? It might be running out of games where a season is declared void and games are declared void. I'm not saying that is on the agenda at the moment, but I'm saying that is not an impossibility.
Do you think you're saying that's it because of the threat of the coronavirus and the shutting down? Or the games?
Both. I think the threat doesn't help it, right? Yeah. The threat doesn't help it. It also doesn't help it for Hearts if they're played behind closed doors as well, because they'll be looking at, a full-time Castle helping them over the line if they're played behind doors. But there's not that many games to go, and they can't afford a gap to open up. They just can't afford the gap to open up because we know they just haven't won enough games. That's why they're there. OK, we don't agree all the time, Hugh. For me, I think I've seen something in them that suggests to me, Roughie, that they can at least get to a playoff place.
Well, I've seen enough that they've got up front. Obviously, the three they've got up there have got goals in them. Unfortunately, it's calamity at the back. I mean, last Motherwell there was times when you're just shaking your head and people banging into each other, and they're playing that high pressing game, and they look so vulnerable at the back. And other teams will see that. They'll say that there's a goal for us here if we can press them enough. I think it's the front line that's got to dig them out of the hole that they're in.
Yeah, football's a strange game, and never more so than tonight. Champions League football, I absolutely love Champions League football. I'm looking here, Son, Kane, Bergwijn, Sissoko, Davis. These are some of the injuries that Spurs have. But already, I nearly fell off the chair laughing at a pundit who suggested get Pochettino back in at Spurs. Surely to God, you've got to cut this guy some slack. He's one of the best managers of the last 20 years. But suddenly, Hugh, I don't know what's happened to his gold dust. Suddenly, people just don't seem to take to Jose.
Yeah, it's really, because I think that's what did him at Manchester United, because we said, remember that first press conference in the August, we said that's him out. The first press conference, he was criticising Pogba, and we were sitting and said, Manchester, they've got a decision to make whether they get rid of him or get rid of Pogba, and they'll get rid of him.
Yeah, and Pogba's not too far behind, let me tell you.
He's not far behind now, but he's still there. I think the interesting thing about, Jose's always been known for parking the bus, but he's now started to sort of do the other thing with the bus, and that is throw personnel underneath it. Don't see where he was going with the comments about, I'll get Roughie to produce this, the French Ndombele.
Yeah.
I don't know where he was going. I don't know.
By the way, Hugh, I do. Did you see the performance?
Oh, his performance was awful. He was walking.
It was disgraceful. Jamie Carragher said it was disgraceful.
He was walking it.
Yeah. It was no sprints, and he was 10th quickest running, and that was behind the goalkeeper.
But I'm just saying that in front of everybody doing it.
But it wasn't right. Yes, you can go in a dressing room and you can give them it like that, but there's some times where you have to let people know that isn't good enough for a £60 million player to do that.
Isn't it amazing that, if you go back a good few years, not that many, by the way, and Jose, if he was at your club, you were thinking, I wonder when we're going to win the Champions League.
He's a serial winner. The great thing about him is all these arguments about great managers. I just end it with Jose Mourinho. you say, he won the Champions League with Porto, and he won the Champions League with Inter Milan, beating Barcelona with 10 men on the park.
Yeah, absolutely.
End argument.
Listen, I know, and I know there are a number of people in Scotland who don't really care for him. But then again, that's another UEFA Cup special programme that we'll discuss in another day. Leipzig against Spurs, Roughie. It's 1-0 at the moment. Can Spurs turn it around?
No, I don't think so. I think Paul, what's your name again? Hugh. Hugh's already said that league, and they've been impressive. So no, they're out. They're gone.
Okay. Out for you, Hugh?
Aye.
Out for me, yes.
Okay. Liverpool Atletico. Liverpool, it's 1-0. Listen, it's 1-0, but...
What? That's an Atletico Madrid score, though.
Yeah.
Atletico Madrid love a 1-0. So Liverpool, the simple thing is, Liverpool know that they have to score 2 over the night, might go into extra time, but they're going to have to score 2 goals against a defence that doesn't give them up, against a team that will like Liverpool coming on to them. I think Liverpool squeak through, but I'm not confident.
Yeah, I have to say to you, Darren, it's the best defensive performance I have seen this season from the most well-organised side ever in Atletico Madrid, but I'm going to go Liverpool to sneak through. Could be going to extra time.
Yeah, I think it'll go into extra time because again, defensively, but just again, we're talking about Ibrox, the atmosphere, the Anfield. It'll just be absolute electric, and I think they'll just suck them in the cop, and I think that's where they'll get the goals.
Yeah, Roughie?
Yeah, I think that Liverpool have got the players up front to win this one.
Valencia, Atalanta.
Valencia.
They're 4-1 down.
Away goal. Away goal.
Right, they're going to win 3-0.
Yes.
Away goals, crucial.
Sorry.
See back come in here tomorrow night and they've won for nothing.
There's more chance of Barry signing Darren for Kelty.
So talks are ongoing.
What do you think?
Atalanta's going to continue to be the story in the Champions League.
Atalanta. And the last one, PSG Dortmund.
Oh, but my heart says Dortmund. I really think I've not been overly impressed with PSG. The game's behind closed doors as well, which it'll be unusual for both sets of players. I just think my heart and head says Haaland will score, and if he scores, it'll make it very difficult for PSG to get back.
Yeah, I'm going to go Dortmund as well. I'm sticking with you.
I'm going to go Dortmund as well, yes.
No, I'm going to go PSG.
Only due to the fact I have to tell you folks that Roughie has suggested PSG are going to win the Champions League for the last 5 years and they've been bumped out early. Anyway, apart from that, if you've got an opinion across social media, at PLZ Soccer on Twitter, Facebook Live Monday to Friday, certainly well worth joining us, and also YouTube. You can subscribe. If you subscribe to our YouTube channel, you'll get all the latest content. Chris Doolan is our podcast guest at the moment. It's a wonderful listen for a Partick Thistle legend. Do tune in for that across all the audio platforms. And I might as well tell you, if you go to our Facebook page right now at PLZ Soccer, there's a chance at the top of the page to win yourself a Peugeot 3008. It is well worth it. Get involved in our competition with Arnold Clark. So from Roughie, from Hugh, and from Darren Jackson and myself, Peter Martin, thank you for watching.
Expect the best used car deals guaranteed. Visit arnoldclark.com.